Okay.
It's actually surpassed Lion in terms of matches picked or banned at this point, too, which is a little bit surprising.
Sorry, Lion.
Yes. Lion is still second place for picks, though, but is now a full, actually 6 games behind Grimstroke. So Grimstroke is still working on pulling away. Now, mind you, Lion's win rate has actually ascended significantly in the past few days. I don't know if, like, the bad team stopped picking him or what.
Did Secret pick it or something?
I don't know, but it's almost caught back up to Grimstroke in terms of win rate, which is shocking, which means Grimstroke, on the other hand, is plummeting. Because Grimstroke was just sub 50. It is now down to 41.5%.
I'm stunned. I don't know.
Stats. They're so funny.
I think. All right, there's not going to be a Husker. They pick Invoker, but all right. Looks like EGOBOYS. They go back to the Leshrac. They won it once, and then Omega won with it, and they're like, I see a pattern here.
Yeah. Do you guys miss having a stats guy in every game?
10 seconds.
What do you mean?
Well, like the stats on the side?
Yeah.
Not really.
5
Yeah, me neither. Stats man Trent. I too can read the internet.
I like the stats things though; they're pretty cool. Just not every game. They're a fun treat.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, when done right, they definitely add to the broadcast for sure. Big fan on that account.
It is funny though. Like I feel like you can paint whatever picture you want with selective editing of certain statistics.
Now
is any of it actually relevant? Is you know what I mean?
Feel like
has Lions win rate that we've talked about across all the DPC has any of that actually meant anything, or is that just sample size variance, regional differences?
Well, here's what I'll tell you:
playing it or not playing it.
Luna's been picked in 13 games and has a 15% win rate. There, numbers. Take 15? That. 15.
I thought you said 50 at first. It didn't quite register. 50.
No.
1-5.
1-5. Sucks to suck.
That's like almost impossible. That's.
Come on, Luna, get it together.
I love that.
She
hero,
feels rough.
But yeah.
So
she's
now,
so
obviously,
fragile.
she must be the absolute worst hero ever. I mean, Naga's 0-2, so like worst hero ever, right? Clearly, that means we never have to worry about getting beat by a Naga. Actually, Chaos Knight, that was his 6th game, and I'll tell you what, he has a 16% win rate. So with some quick math, I do believe that was his first win.
Wow.
Does that mean he's 1-5?
That sounds right. We've seen a couple pretty abysmal CK games, so definitely the first win we've seen. Man, look at all these
10
numbers.
seconds remaining.
I love numbers.
5 seconds remaining.
Why'd we go back for this ABBA opener?
Because it's
kind of
good.
Interesting.
It bullies. It's a position 5. You see a position 4 hero, you punch him. Doesn't matter who it is.
I don't know. Is that true against Earth Spirit? He's pretty big.
You just punch him. He can't trade with you in lane. You punch him.
True.
Get the curse,
and
then what do? You punch him.
I think heroes with mounts are just good. Track.
Now, how does that affect Leshrac?
He's his own mount, so he doesn't like.
Sounds like you're just counting legs there, bud. I don't think you have anything with
so
strong.
Maybe what I meant is 4 legs better than 2 legs.
Okay, that I can get behind.
A quadruped.
Now, where do you rank the no leg? Is no leg better than 4, or is no leg? Is it like infinite legs, or is it 0 legs?
Oh,
what is it?
Floating
is infinite
no
legs
is good.
Okay.
No legs in the ground, bad.
What's your opinion on Lich then?
Good.
He floats. Yeah.
Well, he's got bound up legs, and he floats.
Does
yeah,
he?
that's the power of his magic. You see.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, I don't know about that.
So now I'm just confusing the poor soul.
Oh, he's like, shit, I didn't realize he was into S&M. Wow, that changes everything.
Oracle. Okay, what if they pick Lesh and Husker?
I think, sure. I don't know. You 3 the Lesh, maybe? You 1 the
That
Husk?
sounds kind of scary versus Invoker.
I'm all right with it.
Remaining.
Yeah,
I like Oracle with Lesh. Just like, forget about the Huskar. It's fine. But I think Oracle Lesh is already this nasty combo. He wants to run in there. You got somebody to back him up. It's great. So it's a sick combo.
Yes, Leshrac is the only hero to win both games so far. So it is the constant force of victory in this series.
Damn good hero.
Radiant team pick.
Can Oracle's Fortune's End dispel Aphotic Shield?
It is dispellable, yes.
And then,
By
then
Fortune's
it just
End?
explodes or whatever.
By anything.
Yeah.
By
Yeah,
anything.
and I think it
Okay.
explodes and does the damage when it's dispelled, right? Like Inkswell?
10
Yeah.
seconds remaining.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
It
think
doesn't
so.
just like vanish. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a half dispel.
5
It's
seconds.
not
Oh wait,
that
maybe
good.
does damage because I don't think Inkswell. Does it do the damage when you dispel it?
It
Think
used
so.
to.
But does it stun or only the damage?
Yeah, no,
No,
I think
it
the whole
used to
thing
do
goes
both.
off. It's
Yeah.
just like
Oh,
the spell
okay.
ends.
Okay. Snappy Snap probably gonna be a 4.
Snappy snap.
Well, they can't pick
I-
Mars. What are they going to combo it with?
That's for the best, honestly. So although Mars did
True.
well last game, to be fair.
Team pick.
Hey, Void Spirit.
What are we doing here? 3?
3. Drakeel, is this you?
This is a lot of flex for their 10th pick.
Sure is.
I'm not sure I like this.
One of these two heroes is going in the offlane, right?
10
Well,
seconds
maybe not
remaining.
necessarily between the Lesh and the Void Spirit, because it could be the one Lesh, theoretically.
5 seconds.
But to me, that makes me want to just pick some really strong laning hero, like a Jug or... Okay, Wraith King. Perfect. Some sort of combo. The Beast Coast special, the Snapfire Wraith King.
All right. Very. I mean, this hero is. I like it versus Lash because his ult actually doesn't do that much damage to the skeletons, even though. They have
10
high magic
seconds
res,
remaining.
so he can still push
Radiant
lanes and
team
farm and
back.
jungle. You do counteract the Leshrac push a little bit in the side lanes. But it feels like a very passive lane with this Abba Wraith King. I don't like passive lanes like this.
So I see the PL ban, because, they have Wraith King, they have
10
Invoker. Do you think
seconds
the AM ban is still worth it? I'm almost thinking more so for the Invoker than the Wraith King,
5
to be
seconds
honest.
remaining.
I don't think this is a Teemo hero, but I could see other teams banning
Dire
it.
team ban.
Oh man, I really wanted Tide too. Damn it.
Sorry,
Tide Snap's so sick.
You
I
said
actually said
Teemo, but
Teemo, yeah,
I knew
meant
what you
that.
meant.
Sorry.
God, the anti-mage is so weird, Trent. I think it's good you keep bringing it up because he will sneak out occasionally in those games where you go, oh shit, yeah, AM's viable. Like
here's
he's not
why, though.
that bad.
Remaining.
I see supports that can't do anything really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
That's the
5
part that
seconds
concerns me.
remaining.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's a 10th pick, so you don't even get a chance to respond. And it's like, what else do you ban here? The other hero would be there was something on my head now. I can't remember.
Lifestealer?
Ursa. I was thinking
Lifestealer's
Ursa
pretty
to try and
strong here.
protect your Tide,
Radiant
but then
team ban.
they ban
Yeah.
the Tide anyway. So then
Well,
they'll ban
they
the
still
Ursa
go
anyway.
for it. AM versus Wraith King, the mana burn counter isn't really what gets me jazzed, but just high mobility, right? Wraith King
Yeah,
struggles
exactly.
from being able to get on people,
10
and
seconds
AM can kind of run
remaining.
circles around him.
Pretty good versus
5
Invoker late
seconds
game.
remaining.
Yeah.
Abyssal Blade being nerfed, pretty hard to catch that guy, even if the Wraith King's farmed.
Dire
I
team
kind of thought they were going to pick Legion, even though they banned the Tide and the Underlord. I feel like Legion now sticks out as
I think they're
going to
pick Huskar.
Radiant
Oh, I mean for Omega.
Wait, what?
Ooh, the
I
Sand
was
King.
talking for Ego. Okay, they grabbed the Sand King now. I think they're just going to Huskar, dude.
Snapfire Sand King. I mean, it's pretty annoying lane. I think you're just
10
Lifestealer here.
seconds remaining.
That also looks good.
Doesn't
5
care about
seconds
Invoker. Just chase down whoever you see. Pretty good versus Wraith King because he has high HP pool, low armor.
Yeah, but have you ever seen how snazzy it is when you counterspell a Burrow Strike?
It is. It is. very
So,
cool. It's one of the most satisfying things. I mean, Rises plays Luna. I just said the hero is total trash, and the other hero he spams a lot is Lifestealer. So that's what I'll go with here.
Hey, someone's got to bring that win rate back up. I don't know. I'm feeling the Anti-Mage. I know Gary wants to watch an Anti-Mage game. Actually, he just wants to watch the King, so he's stuck riding or dying with the King anyway, I suppose.
Are we still doing the King?
Dude, they want Huskar so
Does it still work
bad.
that way?
Oh!
Yeah. See?
Wow.
See? This is why I'm here, guys.
Oh my
I tell you.
gosh. You're stealing all my
Wow.
thunder, man.
I
I can't
tells ya.
handle it.
Let me just
Gosh
pour it a fresh.
darn.
You guys want to hear that? Mm. Oh, yeah. That's the sound of hot, satisfying coffee for the victor like me.
Fresh cup there, bud. Well done.
Mm.
We'll drop a maple in it for you.
Tastes so good.
So Trent,
Yeah.
you guessed the anti-mage right, but are you going with EGOBOYS?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I'm
a
going with it.
Drakeel Lesh.
He's,
Okay,
just
so
for,
rises.
to clarify, he also has the persona. So, I mean, that's an easy win.
That is a big
Take
plus.
me to victory because way is the way.
Oh, way.
Right.
I like the tassels
I'm
on her
going-
blades.
All Omega here. They have J-Marie Invoker. All right, pure damage Sunstrike. Anti-Mage is not gonna. Anti-Mage is just gonna melt. Mingata is gonna go for a right-click build with no Radiance. All right, Armlet Desolator. Anti-Mage is gonna have a terrible time. Easy game for Omega.
Armlet Desolator. Now, do you really believe that he's going to do that, Bowie, or are you just kind of saying it?
Dude, I already embarrassed myself, so there's only down from here. So
Because like I see where your head's at. We have not seen a Wraith King do that. They always go for some greedy Radiance or some Armlet thing. They like just never go straight into the Deso like that. That would be wild. And I think I'm sticking with EGOBOYS. Despite Omega bringing it back in game 2, I like this AM. I think the Oracle's got some good backup. Will the Drakeel Leshrac look good? Well, we're gonna find out. Wow.
Here we go. Hello. Sorry, I was just mesmerized by the anti-mage, just watching the screen come up. Yeah, Theban. I'm kind of going Omega this time. I really like their draft. Super fast paced, and against an anti-mage, it feels like they could shut them down quite easily.
Great minds think alike, Gary. I like it. I like Omega 2 here in this game. I think picking Anti-Mage into Wraith King, I mean, some people might think it's a counter, but I don't know if it is. You got an Armlet, you got to worry about Alacrity, you got to worry about the stuns coming out too. Like, if you just walk down a lane and start hitting objectives, can Anti-Mage blink into this lineup? That's the question you always got to ask before you pick the AM. And for me, the answer is no, it cannot. So that's going to be a huge problem.
A resounding no. Yeah, I mean, Burrow, Cookie, Wraithfire Blast, and of course all the Invoker disables that comes out on J-Marie. Definitely going to cause some issues for him.
That being said, though, Gary, it is a Sanking lane against the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage does love playing against Sanking. You just got to burn his mana. And if somehow we can see one of those like 10, 11-minute Battle Furies, like straight Battle Furies from Anti-Mage, he just starts a split push, he could become a big issue on that end. Like, this is a game where you win through split pushing. You don't really win through, out team fighting Omega.
You're dancing around the map with a couple of spirits and an anti-mage, cutting waves. I guess your team fight isn't that great. A lot of single target, decent sustain from the Oracle, but yeah, it's going to be mainly focused on like this pick-offs and split push, like you say.
30 seconds to battle.
It's always interesting. Like game 1, game 2. A lot of these teams go for those smoke plays, and when we get around to game 3, it is really becoming that real strong thread in the story. Safety, stability, just go for our bounty runes.
It's like those situations where in game 1 you're willing to try different things because you still got another game that you can go into and maybe make a comeback through, right? Because the best of 3. So
The battle begins.
here we go.
Around that top bounty rune. Are they going to get 3 for themselves?
Nah, he'll get the bottom river tunnel. Teams are very good at analyzing which runes there are probably no heroes at and pick those up. Alone was also making his way towards that Ancients area to pick up that rune if Omega was going for the river rune.
Yeah, and Alone playing down bottom, so it does mean Rises, of course, that mid Void Spirit, so swapping their lanes around. And Kara gets the immediate D-Ward in that mid lane too. So advantage for EGOBOYS.
Yep.
And then they get back out onto their side lane, so Rises against J-Marie there. Void Spirit against Invoker, but Tano and Drakeel already having a few stuns thrown at them top. Well, bottom lane actually, Alone, he's having spells chucked at him. A little Shredder with a Burrow Strike and already down to very low HP and forced to salve. How does this go? Like usually Anti-Mage against Sand King being able to burn his mana and stuff like that feels pretty good, but it's a Sand King plus a snap.
Right, the little Shredder, the minus armor is going to be a problem for the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage did get buffed up though recently, where he gets 1 extra armor, so that's going to be nice for his laning stage.
Especially against the minus armor from the snap. Looks like it's a pretty good position for Lissex though. Waves pushing in towards him while the Snapfire thinking about trying to block that pull. Actually drags the creep camp away to make sure that Kara's Oracle can't drag the wave back. So yeah, a double wave arriving towards the Sand King. Well, up at top, we've got a pretty similar story. There's wave drag around. Tano is pulled into large camp. Migate is now laning in the large camp, while Thugger up against Drakeel. Wraith King, what, 5 and 3, Lesh at 1 and 1, so not looking too hot here for the Lesh, but maybe if they can catch the Abaddon, but they missed the stuns. Roll and Split Earth off the mark.
I would have said that was a first blood right there, had that stun landed. Because you got the Diabolic Edict, you also got the Boulder Smash. Thugger still level 1. Could have been very nice for them. Missed opportunity for EGOBOYS. It's not the easiest lane for Omega though, because there is 2 disables in here. You just gotta kind of play for farm, and that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, so Abaddon.
11 last hits. I mean, I say it's not easy, but the Lesh only has 3 last hits right now, Gary.
Yeah. And Thugger hasn't died. You know, he's putting his body in the way, making sure he's tanking up all those spells. So like you say, Mingate getting that free farm and Thugger not dying means he's able to actually stick around in the lane, get some vision down, and maybe even pull the wave back. A pretty quiet start in a South American game. Everyone's throwing spells, but no one's dying.
There we go.
Is that it, Mingate?
They're pulling.
No speak too soon.
And the support's
That's
pulling.
the pull, and the Wraith King plays too far forward. First blood goes to that Radiant off lane.
Just like my pubs, Gary. Just like my pubs.
Gotta play safe when he supports pulling. Exactly. It's like his first blood, but also dying there means Drakeel can get free contest on the pull, take the large camp, then back into lane. I do wonder if they saw that smoke though, because Lesh was under creep vision as Earthsphere smoked in towards mid.
This is something that I've been seeing more of lately, Gary, where the 4 smokes up because he knows like the 5 has to use his TP or has used his TP at the start of the game. And then you can just kind of get an easy kill on mid. But if you look at Jamari, where he's controlling the creep wave, it's really hard to roll in there. So he's just gone back to the top lane now on Tano. And now he's going to TP middle. There's another surprise play here. Okay, they really want to get Jamari.
Incredibly surprising. It's an Invoker though, so you've got Tornado and that Ghost Walk to disengage, but he spends Tornado now. J-Marie looking for the Water Rune down at bottom.
And did you notice, Gary, that it's actually Rises playing the Void Spirit?
Yeah.
Rises was playing Lysander, right?
Yeah, he's a POS 1. Yeah, they did that little lane swap, so it's a lone given the anti-mage.
Yeah. I just it just sunk into my mind here, and he's doing very well middle. 26 and 4, 20 and 7. I mean, this guy is one talented player. I'll tell you that.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll see though. You know, you can lane, you can do well in those 1v1 matchups, but it's going to come down to the rotations and how he actually plays that macro game with a spirit, especially when he cracks level 6. We could see some of these TP movements to maybe get up into the top lane and pressure Mingate's Wraith King.
Oh,
so far. It's Drakeel that's taking the brunt of the damage. Split Earth does catch the Wraith King, and a good roll and a kick from Tano, connecting on both of them. Drakeel with that Edict, and gets back onto Thugger with the damage, and now Mingate has to run away and pop his stick. Turns with a crit, has another Wraithfire Blast with Skeletons going onto Tano. Split Earth misses. Mingate still wants his kill as Lissex dies down bottom lane. Kara with that alone anti-mage. Take him down as the Snapfire went back to try and gather up some runes in a bottle, it looks like.
Yeah, I feel like if Drakeel just didn't use his stun there, let Tano roll back onto the Wraith King, they would have had a lot of potential. They might even just kill him right now. I mean, Abaddon is still a little far away. Like, you cannot disrespect the Leshrac, Gary. You have to make sure that kill is 100%. Oh my god, Drakeel. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, I've got to hit those.
Just watching him miss so many stuns. Oh, he's also a bronze Leshrac.
Is that what it's about?
He's sorry. He's right. He knows we're talking about him. He knows we're looking at him.
The bronze Lissex Mars, the bronze Drakeel Lesh. Start spamming those heroes. Do you feel though, laning stage wise here, the Radiant getting more than we expected?
I feel so. I mean, in the top lane at least, like getting those kills after having such a great start with the Wraith King in terms of getting last hits, like that one death from the Wraith King gave away a lot to the Leshrac. But bottom lane looks pretty good for Sand King. I don't think he should be doing this well. against an anti-mage Oracle lane, but maybe the Snapfire is just way too strong with the minus armor. He's got that level 2 low shredder too. Like, that's not something that I could really factor in right now since I haven't seen that much of this build against an AM.
Yeah, how much it's actually going to accomplish. Now, I was just thinking, like, one death on the Sand King, like, they've not really killed off this bottom lane. Oracle and AM both pretty much untouched, and AM getting free farm. But I guess you're right, Lissex is still getting a good amount of gold coming his way. As they do TP Snapfire mid, while they actually attempt to kill on top. Drakeel out with a level 3 Edict. Oracle's come up here to save him. Mingate is level 6, and he's just running forward with Jamari's rotation, but the Fate's Edict actually buying more time for Drakeel with the heals, and the Leshrac is slipping away. Mingate gets turned on with a roll. There's the first life down. Thugger and Jamari still here, ready with a cold snap if they want to continue the battle, because Drakeel, he was thinking about that stun after the Fortune's End, goes for the Courier instead, and now another Red Fire Blast, the save from Oracle, where is it? The kick away, not enough. So Leshrac bit off more than they could chew, but Rise's rotation now coming into the top lane, looking for Thugger. Taking down the Abaddon.
And Snapfire's on the way too. It's just a whole damn party up in this top lane, Gary.
They're going to kill the Earth Spirit now, it looks like. Mingate gets on top of him, he gets kicked back. There's no mana for a roll, but there's the urn. J-Marie ticks him down. Now rises onto the Snapfire, you're right. ZXC gets picked off in the river with an EMP and a cold snap, though. Kara trapped in an awkward position, no stick charges, no way to TP home, so just chain stunned and killed off by the Wraith King, it looks like. One more hit will do it.
He's on level 7 on Mingate, 1,500 gold in the bank. Leshrac, I think Drakeel just made a little bit of a mistake, you know, going back into that fight while Rises was coming top. Just chill a bit. Wait for your opponents to make the mistake, let them run into you first, and then Rises will be there to turn the fight. But he got too close, Invoker was still up there, they cold snapped him, stunned him. But nonetheless, Anti-Mage is free farming in the bottom lane against the Sand King. Sand King has just been chilling, trying to get his Blink Dagger up, and that's when he's going to start moving around.
How much of a looming threat is this AM?
It really depends on how fast he gets his Battle Fury, right? He's gone for the treads first, so it's going to be a little bit slower. I think Leshrac is going to take, if he can take the top tower, that's going to help out the AM more. If he can start split pushing up there. Again, he's not a hero that can go into the fights and help out. He's going to have to be the split pusher in this game.
Oh, in that jungle, Mingate, they know his reincarnation's on cooldown.
Yeah, very
bursting
nice.
with that level 3 Purifying Flames. So that allows the Leshrac to kill off the Snapfire by that tier 1 tower. Two huge kills, an objective to be grabbed up. And Anti-Mage is actually
good.
He's actually battling with a Sand King bottom. He still has the sentry here. Just whacking away into Lissax, Mana Void thrown in. It's a reasonably tanky Sand King with Stick and Fairy Fire, and he's going to blink away as Invoker's rotation, trying to collapse onto that bot lane. Who's that?
The
Thugger
scariest
coming
part
in?
is when Sand King doesn't have mana, Gary. Then now you don't do damage with your Anti-Mage when you're hitting him. Without that mana break.
Yeah, true.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I still don't find him, though. It looks like alone with quick little clarity back in the jungle.
And Sand King has won the trade. And look at it. He's going to push in bottom a little bit. He's going to get this next wave. He's going to have Dagger soon. And that's when we're going to see Omega come online and make some plays with the Invoker. Like, Quasflex Invoker is nice, but it's still lacking some damage early on. Needs somebody else to be able to bring that to the table. And it's going to have to be the Sand King Sandstorm or the Snapfire's Kisses.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 minutes in. Snapfire's still level 4. ZXC needs to really get towards that ulti as quickly as possible. I'll try and get onto that bottom tier 1, which Drakeel is defending.
Drakeel TP down here. If EGOBOYS start TPing in, this is really... Oh, no, EGOBOYS.
The dive in.
You don't want to do this, do you?
EMP onto the Lesh. He's still alive. Tornado will kill him off. They do jump on the Dissimulate onto J-Marie, though, and Drakeel's killed off Lissax. The DD rises, finds the Abaddon.
Okay.
A killing spree for the Void Spirit. They bait with Drakeel, they dangle him in front of them, and a 4-for-1 trade while keeping their tower alive.
I did not expect that. 9 out of 10 times, if you TP to the safe lane like that, you're always dying, one by one. But that DD Void Spirit plus the Leshrac able to get his Edict off and the Nova burning away at the Sand King just made it all work. I mean, Rises, he really understands his strength right now.
Oh, he does. And Omega trying to get in and defend this mid-tier 1. Snapfire is in position. Thugger moves forward, but 2 level 5 supports moving into incredibly mobile heroes between 2 spirits and an AM. They borrow the EMP, Tornado there, but Alone jumps out, and Kara Here's the sacrifice, while the rest of them focus on the tower and they bring it down. Giving up your Oracle for that incredibly important objective. A massive, massive win for EGOBOYS. As long as the Void Spirit can get away, which with an Astral Step and a Dissimulate, it looks like he creates a bit of a gap. But the Burrow into the Kisses,
no
and he doesn't have any more disengage tools. Drakeel's also walked in here, and the Kisses are still going. Under the Sandstorm, J. Marie there. With a little miscoil, a cookie forward, Tornado EMP again onto the Lash, and the Burrow will help burst him down.
And that's going to be a Witchblade soon up on the Invoker. They do lose the mid tower, which is kind of scary for Omega. But getting these return kills is very nice. Like we said, Sanking, Blink Dagger, that's going to be their timing. And if you check the networks right now, the Void and the Lesh, they've been doing a lot of work, but they're not farming that many creeps in this game, Gary. Sanking is about to take over the Void Spirit as well. Anti-Mage is the only one looking really healthy at the moment, but that's because he's been farming the whole game.
He sure has. I mean, as has Mingate. What is he now? 400 off the Relic. Back into action to push that bot tier 1. So he's not going to go for that Armlet Deso build that a couple of the panel members were looking for. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, hang on a second. Drakeel's been found pretty deep in the jungle. Burrow Strike initiation. Perfect setup to destroy the little Disco Pony. And Wraithking gets a free tier 1.
I would have also liked the Armlet Deso build. I do think that build doesn't scale as well as the Radiance, but against Anti-Mage you want the high physical damage. This Radiance build will allow him to get to his next items a little bit quicker though than the Armlet Desolator will. Like, it kind of forces you to fight, right, if you have the Armlet Desolator. For Radiance you can just kind of take your time with it. Relic still gives a big chunk of damage, plus 60 from the Relic, so maybe he can still utilize that to beat up the Anti-Mage.
And then, like, Mischance up against Illusion's pretty handy. But I think you're right, like, being able to hit timings against the AM, because obviously Anti-Mage, Battle Fury's done now, but it's going to be a fair few minutes before Manta's there. And then this Wraithking's going to have that Radiance up, thinking about, maybe like Blink, BKB, Assault Cuirass, stuff like that could be good options for him.
Yeah. And the AM just finishes Battle Fury. So Wraith King, he's about 800 gold away from Radiance, and that's going to be a huge timing, because at that point he can just start playing into the Anti-Mage's triangle area, into their Ancients, let Omega with their batting cover him up, and just take some 5v4 fights. I will say though, EGOBOYS have done an incredible job with their 4 heroes so far, being able to take the top tier 1 and middle at a pretty good timing and get some solid kills for them too. It's just those last 2 deaths from the Void Spirit and Leshak got me feeling a little iffy.
Definitely added a sour note to those great moves, and they're going to smoke with those 4 heroes. Drakeel probably going to show mid. They've been defending that mid tower nicely, but there's the move in with the roll, and the 2 spirits rises, stances them up.
Still good though.
He's going to retreat, and the kiss is coming. The artillery landing. They put the Fate's Edict onto Tano. Stop that magic damage. But they still have a kill on the mid lane from Drakeel soloing ZXC. He found the Grandma.
Yeah, he just went right on in there, watching the Snapfire throw out the kisses. Just a sitting target.
And now that jungle all belongs to the Radiant. Full bodyguard mode. A barrier in front of the Anti-Mage, so alone he will race towards that Manta style. TP's bottom to deal with that Wraith King's push.
This could be the play, Gary. Anti-Mage TP bottom. You never really want to be doing this. And he's going to be trapped down here. He's going to have to do some crazy stuff to escape.
They see him.
Okay, they see him. They see him though. Yeah, this was not a smoke play. This was not a smoke play.
And they will deward immediately. Thugger's like, alright. Yeah. Alone caught a glimpse of us. So they Burrow Strike into mid instead. And they've got the saves, but Kara's out of mana. 11-1 charges. False Promise is coming just in time. The Oracle dies, but in they go with a Split Earth landing. Thugger gets off his borrowed time, but J. Marie caught up inside the Remnant. The Burrow back. Well, there's a bit of time for the Invoker to disengage. Maybe a Deafening Blast to push them out, but another great roll from Tano. Closes the gap. Anti-Mage, he's on Thugger, but Mingate with his Radiance. He is here. The big bad boy gets a double kill up on the Sand King, and a triple, in fact, for Lissex.
Ah, Mingate, my savior. You know, you feel like the hero has finally arrived to the fight, Gary. Coming in to show what's up. They're gonna take this tier 1 tower quite easily too. They can drop almost a max Wex Alacrian, yeah, we can see the replay here. The Leshrac getting ulted. Earth Spirit comes in with the slow, then the follow-up stun. They clean up the Snapfire. They want to go onto the Invoker. They got a Mana Void ready. They're trying to bring him down. Nice Tornado hitting everybody.
Yes.
Cues up the Deafening Blast. Gets it on the Anti-Mage. Just enough time for Wraith King to show up. And look at him go. Just slapping him. They're like, oh no, guys, we cannot fight into this. Anti-Mage just tail between his legs. Blinks out. He's out of there. Back to farming he goes. And they can't even bring down Jamari.
And these shields just doing such a great job at keeping the cores alive. You know, I think EGOBOYS definitely have to start focusing on the Invoker, on some of these bigger targets. Because sure, you pick off the Snapfire, but she had already spent kisses earlier on, not really a hero that's accomplishing too much in the fight. And like you said, when Mingate shows up, Anti-Mage literally just leaves. I'm out of here. I'm not battling into that. Level 2 reincarnation,
Nope.
Radiance Wraith King. Nope.
No,
See you
he
later.
wanted to have some kind of contribution, you know, with his Mana Void. If he got a nice kill on Invoker, he would be in such a sweet spot in this game right now, Gary. He would have got like 400 gold, solid XP for his team. His team could get on the map. But, you know, Jamari and his team, they queued up the perfect spells. Like, it was on point. Like, you saw that Tornado and the Deafening Blast. It just bought so much time.
That's what that Wex Invoker brings, right? Tons of control, disable, disengage, space creation. All around that. Little tanky Mingate Wraith King.
Everyone's laughing.
Spam out your chat wheel lines. To a future of grief.
You know, if you're a bronze tier, you don't. That's the only lines you have. You can't all chat anything.
It's a little bit sad.
But
I guess yeah, forces you to keep paying for Dota Plus and keep spamming your favorite heroes. Suck you into the marketplace of Dota 2.
It really is like an addiction, you know, once you like start leveling. Because like I got a Mirana that's platinum, right? And now that I'm platinum, now I'm like, oh, now I gotta go for master, right? Well, where all my other heroes, I play like maybe 1 to like 3 times a week, and I have maybe 20 gold heroes or something throughout the years or plus. But now that I'm like one guy is like a freaking platinum, I gotta get to master tier.
It was a pretty good move, though. You know,
It was.
there was a period of time where I despised hero spammers. Thinking back to Earth Spirit when he first came out, and Broodmother, you know, back kind of 5, 6, 7 years ago. Those kind of hero spammers, they got under my skin. But as I've grown older, you know, become more liberal and thinking about how things are meant to work out, hero spamming is such an important part of the game of learning not just the hero that you're spamming, but how other heroes interact with you and interact with each other, and just being comfortable with the game.
And enjoying the game too, right?
Yes,
like,
yeah.
For some people, that's what they enjoy, and we think that way because we're from like Dota 1 days. Dota 1 days, like if you play only one hero, you were considered shit. Like
Yes.
you were just an awful player. You had to be able to play multiple roles, multiple heroes, and be prepared at any time. Like that's how that was the stigma then. You know, you just like that's just how it is. And I spent so much time, Gary, practicing, or not really practicing, but playing different heroes, like forcing myself not to play the same thing over and over again.
I mean, every all-pick pub game, I would hit random. I was the random gamer. Like that's literally how I played Dota. I wouldn't pick heroes.
Now, if you're random, you're reported. 100% reported. If you're not playing a top 20 hero in your public matchmaking game, reported. Yeah, griefing. Done.
Not playing selected role.
MMR ruined everything, Gary. MMR ruined everything. Actually, we never had MMR. I know a lot of people, like viewers, they could be newer viewers, but there was no rank system until 2004, end of 2014, I want to say.
Yeah, it took a long while, didn't it?
Yeah,
like the actual leaderboards and everything.
3 or 4 years, exactly. It was like 3 or 4 years before there was a rating system. And everybody was fine playing Dota before that. Everybody just played casually. They played with their friends. It was just like regular matchmaking. There was like a hidden MMR kind of thing. So you were queued up with people of your skill, but it didn't limit you with who you can play with and such. And people would try new things in those games. They wouldn't really care. They weren't that invested because their points were not on the line. These imaginary points were not on the line.
Yeah, I mean, there are some... Yeah, that's true. Very high skill games. Man, yeah. Thinking back, you've triggered some memories there, Thebe. And I remember very clearly games up against like PGG and Hani and stuff, and a Hani Clockwork was running around with a first item Blink Dagger going like 20 and 0, and we were like, who is this guy? How is it? What is he doing? Like, he just annihilated. Like, we're just, casual players. I'm playing Wind Ranger off lane every game, or randoming, or buying Battle Fury on Wind Ranger because everybody was buying Battle Fury on every hero back then. Some guy comes out with Blink Dagger Clockwork. It's like, what? No one buys Blink Dagger. What a waste of money. Nah, slaughtered us. I think genuinely
those were the days. I think creativity was at its highest point during those times, where now it's more like you gotta play the meta shit. You gotta play what everybody else play. Now it's like, okay, what's RTZ playing today for his game? Okay, that's what I'm gonna spam. Or they're going on his Dota buff profile, seeing what he's spamming. And
it's a Nature's Prophet with Witch Blade. Oh yeah,
we're seeing that a lot now. That's the thing now. Everybody's playing Nature's Prophet with Witch Blade. There were some guys playing it last season, but it's like, it's just so trendy. Like, everybody just catches on, and that's all they do now because they just want MMR. That's all it comes down to nowadays.
It's just like finding that niche, finding that kind of one item build, that one hero that fits a role really nicely. And all of a sudden, it becomes incredibly potent. We often talk about nerfs and power creep and stuff like that, and sure that affects the game. But I think you're right. It is very trend based, where you see your favorite player do this thing, it's good. They're making it work, so of course, try and make it work yourself.
You know what I'm trying to make trend right now, Gary?
What's that?
I'm trying to get position 4 DK to trend. It's a real struggle in matchmaking, I'll tell you that. It's very important to have a good position 3 hero that can pair with your hero, like can dish out a lot of damage. So sometimes.
What's your behavior score like?
It's good. It's 10k, man. Come on now.
Okay. I wasn't flaming. I was just wondering if the DK Posfor was tanking your behavior score. If people are reporting you for it.
Nah, I still do good. I still do good in those games.
Of course. Right, we are. We're in a Dota 2 video game. It is game 3. EGOBOYS up against
we're back?
the Omega Squad.
Whoa,
Tier 1 tower.
I completely forgot. I got stuck on
gone.
that nostalgia train. I wasn't planning to get off.
It can be quite a trip. Right, so where were we? They get the tier 1, they just won a team fight, and now it looks like the Radiant team wanting to group up and smoke out across the map. Find a bit of space for that AM.
Wraith King, and he's going for Assange now. He's picked up 1,000 gold after our last team fight. EGOBOYS, like, they need to be very careful with where they take the team fight. They need to fight under their vision. They need to be able to find the Snapfire first, kill him off, silence the Abaddon. There's a lot of key things that's got to go right for EGOBOYS for these smokes to play out well. But it looks like they might just end up going for the tier 2 tower. Might see a smoke from Omega, actually. Wraith King does have that level 2 reincarnation ready.
Yeah, go and try and match them up top. How afraid are you as a Wraith King, though, pre-shard against an anti-mage?
I'm not too worried. I am not too worried. Like, AM, you gotta understand he's gotta get Manta plus another item before he can soak enough damage while burning the mana of the Wraith King. Okay, someone getting caught? Yep, Tano said. Alright. Peace out, Tano. See you in your next life, buddy. Yeah. So, the only time you really gotta be worried is when you're split pushing and you're getting caught split pushing. So, Mingate is not... Hopefully, he's not gonna allow himself to get caught like that. Just push far enough, drop your skellies, go into the jungle, get off the map, play for your BKB or SNY or whatever those items may be. He might not even need the shard at 20 minutes, Gary.
Just not care.
Yeah.
And Assange delivered. Looks like Omega able to reclaim their jungle, get some D-wards going. So Vision for Radiant, there's just one ward behind the mid-tier 2 Dire side. That's pretty much all they can play into. They see very little on the map now, apart from Invoker showing on the top wave. Very difficult for them to try and find some room for themselves. Void Spirit going into the Aghanim Scepter has enough for the point booster. As they do move Rises and Drakeel into that mid lane, but Mingate shows, puts his body in the way. Yeah, go on then. Jump on me. Let's see what you got.
Mingate doesn't care.
Literally no
damage. Yeah, he's got magic wand even if he tried to burn the mana without a manta, he can just pop his wand, survive. Jamari, he's becoming a big boy too. He's almost got that BKB. And the purpose of the BKB is if the Earth Spirit does roll in, you can just click it, turn on him, kill him off, make the fight 4 versus 5. Plus, it pretty much saves him from the anti-mage's mana break. And he's the only target that you can really burn the mana off and get a nice juicy mana void off on.
Yeah, it's everything, right? Like Radiant very heavily focused on magic damage, especially early on. Void Spirit, Lesh are the main proponents of that magic damage. That BKB is going to be incredibly important for the Invoker. Looks like EGOBOYS is trying to trade out towers, but Drakeel, yeah, you need to get a bit closer to get the Edict damage on. Who's trying to hide in a little tree spot to sneakily take away some of the tower HP, but Alone comes in and clears it out.
How do you feel about this Leshrax build? Pipe. First item, Pipe. Look, like if you look at its HP pool, mana pool, it doesn't look too happy for a core Leshrac. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm kind of a fan of the like Arcane's mech and then back into a Pipe.
Yeah, me too. I like the Greaves. I like just having that solid HP. Like the Pipe, the recipe itself is so expensive, Gary.
Oh, I know.
And the upgrade it gives is not that good super early into the game. That being said, though, Sanking Epicenter, it can soak up all of its damage.
That's true. Yeah, Kisses as well.
Yeah.
Could be that difference maker in fights.
Yeah. The only problem is you have an anti-mage in your team. I don't think you're really expecting to fight. So that's why I'm like kind of skeptical as to, was it worth it to get the fight? You're not
gonna be
fighting.
greedier.
Yeah.
And maybe he's thinking that he's the one that's pushing out lanes, showing on the waves.
Tano again?
Tano. That's a long
God,
TP.
he keep it on the tier 2. That's
Used
a
up.
long TP.
And again, in an awkward position between tier 2 and tier 3.
That's the Goon Squad. Just 3, 4, and 5 killing you. Never
they've
feels
also got
good
a-
to die to a 3, 4, and 5.
Cold Snap and some right clicks mid lane. Looks like Kara is okay.
It's just some space, forcing people to come to this Oracle, getting them off the map from split pushing.
That's something EGOBOYS have been, very good at, right? Like forcing them to play bottom behind their own towers, so they're not pushing forward into the Radiant side of the map. Megate's always kind of moving back to his side of the river to soak up some of these creep waves that are getting shoved in so very quickly.
Yeah, look at Mingate and how farmed he is right now. He is out farming the anti-mage with the Battle Fury, Gary. And the anti-mage was ahead of him. Because Mingate has no fear of where he's going on the map. He does not care about what engagements come into him because he's got a reincarnation. Whereas the anti-mage, he's got to, tippy-toe around the map. Make sure he doesn't walk into the wrong neighborhood.
And Tano's going to have to try and tank this gank for him. AM was the one that got initiated on first. Tano walks in, says, "Hello, kill me instead, please." Well, it looks like it might be Roshan time for Omega with this Alacrity Wraith King.
Very nice.
Moving into the pit, killing off the Earth
also got
Spirit,
a
removes a
Solar
lot of the team fight from the Radiant.
Check that out. Minus armor with the Solar Crest and the little Shredder. Bam, bam. Why need Desolator and Armlet when you got Snapfire on your team?
And Curse of Avernus too. Curse, Alacrity, plus that big old Solar Crest. And like you've been saying, it doesn't look like the EGOBOYS have any intention of fighting. They are just split pushing both of those side lanes, shove out the map, give the Aegis, hand over the goodies to that dire squad. And Jimari taking up the Aegis, in fact.
4 strength heroes and an Invoker. That's what AM is fighting into. He's having a rough time finding the angle to have any impact in this game apart from just split pushing and farming.
Yeah, but now he's farming very defensively in his own jungle. Alone needs to be out there, kind of cutting waves behind tier 2s, forcing the opponents back. So far, that's been the job of Drakeel, though. I'm watching him down a bottom lane. Oracle is sat just behind the Lash. Wraith King TP's here, and again, he's just going to soak up a nice little double wave for himself. Free money for the Wraith King. And the EGOBOYS, they've got to return to the other side of the map. It's just playing tennis with each other. Bounce the ball to one corner, return it to the other corner, and you're just chasing ghosts.
And Invoker's Aegis will allow him to just play really far up and keep doing what he's doing with his allies. And as you can see, Mingate, he didn't even go for the shard. He doesn't even need it. He knows, he's calculating everything right now, and he realizes that Anti-Mage has no chance of just going on top of him. Tano, Cold Snap,
We've
goodbye,
seen
sir.
this before. Out in the front.
Tano.
He scouts them.
This is it's one of those Earth Spirit games.
It really is. He's the one that is just showing himself, saying, "Hello, please don't touch my Anti-Mage or my Void Spirit. You can go on me if you want to.
I think he's
Still
thinking, I wish I did not have an anti-mage on my team who does nothing. Feels
I
bad,
want to
man.
fight. I want to roll onto people and kill them. He's not allowed to play his
Exactly.
game though. And look at that, onto the tier 2. Minus armor, Curse of Avernus, Alacrity from Jamari. Easy objective while Mingate pushes bottom so they could connect down with him and find another tier 2. And all thanks to this Aegis of Invoker, which is going to last for, another 3 minutes. They got plenty of time to control pretty much the entirety of this map. Should the AM be this scared? Like, every time I look at Alone, he's farming on his side of the river, farming backwards.
I feel he's not used to this. He always plays mid, right? So he's playing as if he cannot fuck up. He cannot do anything bad. Like, he needs to be ready to always fight. He's not using Manta that much to split push either. He's always holding it to save himself. I do feel like he's not really pushing his limits. Like, he's so tanky now. He's got that Scotty complete. And he's still asking for people to sit behind him here, where they're all middle. You can see that they're all middle because of how they're positioned on the map. And you see the Wraith King bottom. Without the Wraith King, this anti-mage can never die.
Yeah, that
He's
means
gotta understand that.
they're going to probably lose out some
Oh,
serious
he's
HP
TPing
on
back
his high
first, 2
ground.
on the M. They want to
Well,
fight.
he's not gonna
He doesn't have
push.
Manta for 20 more seconds.
Interesting decision. I mean, Anti-Mage, blinks into mid lane, pushes out that wave, but they catch Drakil's Lesh with a Tornado EMP, force the Lesh back into Fountain, probably. Mingate just stands there whacking the tower. Glyph
really
expended. Does force a soft reset, but they've got a catapult wave arriving, and a Blink Burst Strike there. Oracle step too far forward. EGOBOYS have to buy back on Kara. Mingate just walks it in with the kisses landing. Drakil, he's going to die to this. Oh, the save from Kara, but Lissex there with another Burst Strike ready after the silence ends. Will be able to jump, but the false promise. It saves Drakil and allows the return to Fountain, while the backstab from the Anti-Mage doesn't look like it accomplished a lot. Tornado's there, catching the 3 of them alone with the counter spell, trying to whack Mingate, and now into Jamari, but they've got BKBs and Aegis.
Goodbye.
They SARS and kill him. Anti-Mage, 0 impact, and it looks like the Omega side just going to slice and dice into that Earth Spirit, now force the barracks to fall.
This is very sad. I mean, Anti-Mage, he needed to be top, split pushing. They have Aegis, and now Abada can just chill in this fight, keep shielding up his allies, healing them up.
I mean, there's no AM for 50 seconds. Void Spirit, he's got no spells left. He's just stunned and controlled after the Yule Scepter ends. J. Marie still has Aegis in his hand for another 40 seconds. Tried to Tornado the Earth Spirit, but he does roll back. Tano bought back for this, as did Kara. But a full set bottom and a swing into mid. They've got Reincarnation, they've got Aegis, and BKBs will be back up in what, 30 seconds for Wraith King? Feels like this might just be over.
20 seconds. I mean, I'm trying to think, who can they jump here to make a possible fight?
Well, just,
And they don't really have any options.
Lesh has
Aegis
jumped.
is out in 10 seconds. Okay, maybe they can jump Invoker. If Omega don't just take this Rax and leave right now. They're just gonna take the Rax, they're gonna get out. They don't care.
I mean, they can't even go top, right? Tier 2's there, so the only move they can make, run away or go tier 4s, and I doubt they would go for that tier 4
AT's
play.
complete too on Wraith King.
Ooh.
Invoker's got a Hex now, and they just picked up about, what, 10,000 gold and 2 Raxes.
Desperation smoke.
I need to tell you something, like, as a, experienced coach and player and such, this is one of the reasons why you don't want your mid laner to be playing carry. Okay, they're gonna get a Sankey kill. They're
Are
off
they?
for Blood, Gary.
Blink, not available. Lissex does die. There's a kill for a kill's sake, though. Look at Snap and Abaddon still holding high ground, thinking about drawing this battle
They're
out.
not scared,
Tano
right?
going to get silenced up by the curse. And in comes the Wraith Fire
the
Blast and a
damage.
massive crit from Mingate. Just slices him while Kara gets found by J. Marie. Anti-Mage. He's got Manta and Blink, while Yule's and an Essence Ring. Void Spirit, Astral Steps off to the left. But in come the kisses. Leshrac shredded. And Drakil, unfortunately down, as I've got a bit of lag, so I'll move over to the feed. The kisses onto the AM, and Blink's back out of danger. So they get a Sand King, but lose 3 in the exchange. And now it's what, a
Yeah.
tier 2? And even more pressure from Omega.
And that was a 4 versus 5 as well, where they killed the Sand King. It was clean. They still had all their cooldowns, but these are the heroes that matter.
A buyback from Lesh. But it just seems so impossible. to break past Mingate's Wraith King to try and even think about going on to Jimari with a Scythe of Ice, and there's Wraithfire Blast onto Drakeel with a cookie, and that's a dieback of Lesh. Rises walks in, there's a Sunstrike to pop him, now it's just Mingate and all of his right clicks. The Deafening Blast pushes the aim back, he's chain stunned, silenced by that curse, has to buy back himself. So a 2 versus 5 now as they catch that Void Spirit with a stuns after Tornado, and it's it! That is gotta be game! Alone wants 1 kill, come on, give it to him, but he's already spent his Mana Void. Hex up, returned onto the Invoker, but the Anti-Mage is stuck. Manta and Blink away, the roll back in from Tano, silencing up the Invoker, but he BKBs. ZXC, in we go with a Burrow, and Alone, destroyed by them. The Beyond Godlike 12, 1, and 13 Invoker. 25 out of the 29 kills, 26 out of the 29 kills now. Involved in by Jimari.
What a game. At the end of the day, Gary, gotta say, it's come down to the draft. You picked Anti-Mage into Wraith King Invoker. I feel like that was just suicide. Mingate, he went a really solid item build. The way he played on the map was very nice. On the side of EGOBOYS, Rise is your carry player. He practiced carry every single day for moments like this. You got this AM game where it's not an easy AM game. You need him to be split pushing. You need him to be playing very dangerously, make some risk in order to be able to win the game, and Alone was not able to do that because he's not used to playing this role. So at the end of the day, it just looked way too easy for Omega, and they just won the game under one Aegis.
Yeah, it felt like a very soft AM performance. I mean,